Peace to the world. We are in the new Black Wall Street. Yes, I said new Black Wall Street inside of Star Status, which is a store that represents athletics and inner me.
Welcome to Star Status store. It is the home of inner me and athletics. Inner me is all about crystals, crystal jewelry. We customize the jewelry in the store if you want us to. We have bracelets, earrings, necklaces, and then with athletics, we have the world's first conscious sportswear brand.
Created sports logos and put it on sports apparel. So you can see right here, we have Mansa Musa on the basketball shorts. We also have the ancient Egyptian Kemetic Herus on football jersey, tackle twill, captain's tag, heavyweight mesh, all quality material, authentic sports apparel. And y'all come see us at the new Black Wall Street Star Status store on Choctaw Street. Peace.
Peace, love, and light to the family. Greetings to everybody. Welcome to Melanin Mondays. Just want to let you know, this coming Saturday, we have class. This upcoming Saturday, we have class via KTL University with brother ALKEBULAN, all right? ALKEBULAN44. The name of this class is Prophetic Remedies and Celestial Divinity. This is class number 3 for all of my KT aliens out there in the building. All right, we will have our good brother ALKEBULAN joining us today on Melanin Mondays. You are now rocking with the best.
To this day.
You already know what it is.
To this day.
You already know what it is. Peace to the family. Peace to the family. Welcome to another episode of Melanin Mondays. Yeah. It's your brother Red Pillar in the building. Yeah, I'm talking about. Soon to be joined by my guest of the evening, good brother ALKEBULAN44. But before we even get into that, let's do the roll call. I want to know who is in the building tonight with us.
To this day.
Right. As you can see, this is an early show. We're going to get this business out of the way because I'm going to be locked into Black Magic 363 tonight. Good brother Rich, Father Rich, is going to be pulling the classic. He has an all-star lineup, but we're going to get it prepped up before the lineup comes. We're gonna get your cells fired up. You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna get the gears in your brain moving and whatnot with some high-level conversations. So yeah, who's in the building? Who is in the building? All right, Brooklyn is in the building. Peace to the Brooklyn guards. DC is in the building. Shout out to DC in the building. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, shout out to DC. Let's make sure we hit the like button, family. Let's make sure we hit up them like buttons. Arkansas, all right? Shout out to Arkansas, Indiana, Flatbush, San Fran, Maryland, Columbus, Georgia, Cali in the building, was popping. Chi-Town in the building, all right? Dominican, West Indies in the building, Newark in the building, VA in the building, Louisville, Chicago, Jersey, Maryland. We are in the building. Shout out to everybody tapping in. Salute, peace, love, and light. Greetings. You know what I'm talking about? Happy Monday. All of these things that Mississippi was really good. We see you. Vegas in the building. Tallahassee in the building. Charlotte in the building. The Boogie Down BX in the building.
To this
you know
day.
What I'm saying? Nashville in the building.
To this day.
Yeah. Dallas, Detroit, Ambridge, Louisville, Denver. What it do was really good, was popping. How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, that part. Ooh, Akron, Ohio. Okay, home of the Giants. You feel me? Akron in the Barbados. Yeah, it was really good. Send a ticket, Barbados. Send a ticket. Let's go. I'm trying to get some Barbados, son. Grambling, Louisiana. Okay, baby. I see you. Shout out to Louisiana with that good gumbo. All right. So, family's in the building. I want to say salutations and greetings to everybody. Everybody that was in Atlanta this weekend at the Malcolm X Fest. Man, oh man, that's the only word I have to say. Man, magical is an understatement. You understand? I stand on this and I'm going to continue to say it. Our people are magical. Our people are healing in the flesh. Our people are dynamic. There's nothing like our people on the planet. And you begin to see the greatness in our people when we gather. Don't ever in your life think that you're going to be able to focus and carry this movement through your phones and whatnot. Don't ever one day in your life think that you could only contribute to your growth and development through a computer screen. Astaghfirullah. You got to be in the you got to be on the ground. You need to be on the grid. Your flesh needs to press flesh, meaning that you need to shake hands and hug babies. If you ever consider yourself to be a teacher, a leader, a follower, whatever these names people be holding on to, get outside, get amongst your people. It's, like mating seasons, it's not the whole year. So for festival season, it's not the whole year. People ain't nobody bothering you to come outside in the winter. The festival season is in the summer and springtime when that sun is out. Get outside, tap into your people, look at them in their eyes and whatnot. Let them know that you okay. One of the best things that I saw this weekend at the Malcolm X Fest is that people were literally being charged up in real time. I was watching them walk down the aisles and whatnot of the streets where they had all of these vendors lined up. And I saw people literally leveling up tent by tent by tent. One of the great things is when you get to see people who you haven't seen in a long time. Atlanta was on, they didn't have the Malcolm X Fest for 2 years straight because of the quote unquote lockdowns, right? So it was missing that ceremonious sounding of the horns, right? The beating of the drums. The beginning of the summer starts during the Malcolm X Fest, right? That's tradition in Atlanta. In New York City, summer starts right after Dance Africa, which is next weekend and whatnot at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. That is the official launch of what we know as the summertime, which lands on Memorial Day. But in Atlanta, it's the Malcolm X Fest. So imagine not seeing your brethrens, your sistrens. Imagine not seeing certain elders. Imagine the only way to run into people is at Seven Nandas, Kroger's, Whole Foods, Wadadas, places where people come to eat, Tassili's. Imagine not knowing who's alive and who is not. Imagine not knowing who needs help and who does not. Imagine not knowing what little children look like that were born during the lockdown. Imagine a lot of things. It is important. It is imperative that we gathered in the name of Malcolm X. Gather in thy name, right? We gathered in the great name of Malcolm X. But it doesn't have to stop there. We can gather in Sabi's name. We could gather in Marcus Garvey's name. We could gather in thy name of so many great people who have preceded us and whatnot, and we could commemorate their quote unquote days and whatnot. We could commemorate and we could edify their names in their memories just by gathering. You don't even got to do nothing else. Don't be, if you're a promoter, do not try to corner cut. Don't be cheap. Hire some good bands that put out good music. If you have cover bands, you don't gotta hire the cool. You don't gotta hire Kool in the Gang and the Temptations and the Four Tops. If you got an old head, this could sing all that shit. Like he's each one of them. They had a dude was doing covers. He was channeling everybody from Fela Kuti to James Brown. I think he did a Beyonce song. I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you. He was channeling everybody. I'm like, damn, they was able to save some money with this nigga right here because he's everybody and a musician. Like he was giving it up. He was doing everything, but he knew what he was doing. As long as the music is great, drummers don't cut short on pay the drummers, give them a good percentage of the budget, get some dancers, make sure, and you got yourself a celebration. You don't got to do much for our people to be in ceremony and whatnot. Just make sure that we feel safe. You know what I'm talking about? Make sure that them drums is getting beat on and whatnot, and we finna turn up. And that's what I saw this weekend. It made my heart feel lighter, bro. I promise you. It really restored some of the faith. I've been talking crazy about Atlanta because, to be honest with you, they have not been, there hasn't really been too many ceremonies. I haven't seen the people in their totality to really feel this shit out. You know what I mean? But this weekend, I got a good glimpse of it. And I could honestly come on to these people's internet and say that I'm a happier person as a result of my experience. And I look forward to more experiences with the fam that's out there, the network, the community, whatever you want to call yourself. You are beautiful. You are powerful. You have the keys. You got the answers. You know what I mean? Keep showing up. Show up for yourself and then show up for whoever you showing up for. My geniuses. And with that being said, I don't want to hold y'all. I got a special guest for the evening. This is a good brother, my good brother. He's been blazing Notaledge University over the past few months.
To this day.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
To this day.
He been setting fires and whatnot and the ethers and things of that nature. He's been shaking the pillars of the matrix with this information that's not only groundbreaking, but this shit is electrifying and whatnot. He's been leveling up the people just with his lexicon and his nomenclature and whatnot. This good brother is going to be pulling up tonight to deliver another powerful dissertation. So I want to open up the floor and welcome you to none other, our good brother, ALKEBULAN44 in this building.
To this day.
Yeah, that part.
To this day.
Yeah, tapping in. Got that good chlorophyll water.
Yeah.
Post got workout. You know what I mean? Glow, y'all. Keep the glow. It's not shea butter. Yeah.
How you doing, Red?
I'm turned up.
Amazing.
Allegedly. Yeah, I'm turned. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. No, I'm feeling very, luxurious. I'm feeling very, again, majestic.
Yes.
Shout out to the Arts degree for the Fight Omega 3s. That's what's fast right now.
Okay.
I just came in from doing a little sun gazing, a little sun bathing, so
that's right.
I'm just tapped in right now, feeling the essence, and yeah, we gonna really give up some information today. As everybody knows, class is May 28th, and everything is everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm excited. No, I'm enthusiastic. Yeah. Tonight is a great night. Today is just a wonderful day. I'm gonna have to check the horoscope for the day and whatnot. But today is a dope day. Yesterday, 5/22/22. That was a beautiful day in alignment and whatnot. I look forward to some downloads that I'll be receiving later on by you, and then later after that by the good brothers on Black Magic, and then wherever that will take me after that. You feel me? Because rabbit holes open up for me. I go silver surfing, and I don't be knowing where I wind up at. You feel me? I really can't call it because it's really magical. You be surprised that the places that you can go when you just get locked in.
Man,
so,
I told you last several weeks, I've been doing some deep diving, and going down that rabbit hole, discovering just new information that I want to present to the family. There's an article that just came out today saying the sun is waking up right on schedule. So with that being said, we got a lot going on, not only within our personal life, but we have a lot of celestial events taking off, and my big thing is always making sure that we get in alignment and we understand that, again, fashioning the body to allow it to be able to adhere to the celestial events that are taking place. So, everything is taking off. Everything is looking good.
yes.
These classes are right on schedule, and it's a continuous narrative, like I said. There's always the ability to manipulate your reality in real time. And I done cracked the code, family. Like, again, I done did some, years of studying, but as of, recently, I'm just bringing that thing full circle.
Right.
I'm recognizing, we are those individuals that we've been looking for, that we deem our ancestors, and we are these people in real time. So, we're going to give it up in class, Saturday. So.
Nah. I mean, like I said, if it's anything like the other classes, I'm ready. I'm so ready. Look, I was looking at the UFO hearings and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? I was tapped into the UFO disclosure, you know, that
Yeah.
they was out there doing, and I was like, fam, this is the shit that you know what I mean? Like, come on, like it's so much going on in the world that we not even really, you know, that's not even really making the news like that. You know what I'm saying? News is really focused on other things and shit like that. But the fact that they're having these conversations and revealing, you know, the revelation should really poke holes into what is known as white supremacy. The revelation should poke holes into the preconceived primacy of a man or a woman on this planet, that you know, that they're not the most advanced, you know, beings in the universe. They don't have all of the answers. They're not the masters of the universe, you know, just for the mundane mind. You know what I mean? Like, of course, when you go deeper with it, there's ways to do the logic, but for the mundane mind who's been looking at, especially those of though the mind that's in the westernized world, they've been looking at Europeans as the 100-foot giant,
Right.
you know, based off of the perception that they are superior. But if they're on the news or if they're in hearings and whatnot, admitting that there's flying saucers or unidentified flying objects that's more advanced than the most advanced aerial objects that the world can produce, that man can produce, then that's basically them acquiescing to saying that we're not the sharpest tool in the goddamn toolbox. Like, there's no superiority. Like, there should have been a moratorium the day that there was an announcement made about spaceships that they cannot identify, and they claim it's not theirs. Oh, well, no problem. But by the way, white supremacy has this moratorium today. That should die today, because y'all had the whole planet thinking like you and your gun or your tank and your nuclear weapons were the most powerful on the planet. And they're letting you know, look, there's spaceships that are defusing nuclear facilities and objects. Like, we don't know who they are. We don't know how to communicate with them. We don't know how to identify them. That's a lie, first and foremost. But what they're honestly telling the people is that there's something more superior than them, not out there,
Right.
here with us.
Right.
You know, because it's all in the language. When they say out there, shit, there's a bee out there. There's a bee out there outside of your window. There's a fly out there in the goddamn in space. Like, out there is on your nose tip.
Right. And see, they'll never get specific with it. You know, when they study aerodynamics, you know, the same thing they study with ships and water is the same thing they study with planes flying through the air. That's why I always, you know, hone in on understanding that we live in a more refined version of water, a rarefied version of water, because in essence, that is the primordial waters of noon. So when we understand that the body itself, as I've always said, is a semiconductor, we have the capacity to communicate with these, what we deem extraterrestrials. But in essence, it's about allowing the body to be photoreceptive and processing, you know, as much light as possible, so the glands in the body can become undormanted, so that way we tap into a vibration that is of a you know, of a higher frequency. So in essence, it's all about equipping the mind with the necessary information to stimulate that interest, you know, that's in the body, so that way we can adhere to the communication that's coming from on high. You know, they never talk about what's in the seas. They never talk about what's in the skies. It's very rudimentary information. So the ships that we see on the news, those aren't our ancestors. But in essence, our ancestors come by way of light. So that's why it's important to understand that, you know, it's important to see what we're looking at. And, you know, the big bad wolf that we deem as the European with the big gun, is the biggest illusion in the world. So once we understand what type of time that we're in, you know, we understand that, again, we have an alliance in higher places, you know, and they're just waiting for us to line. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what it stems from.
Right. And yes, to add on to what the good brother ALKEBULAN44 was saying, that, you know, do not be duped by the propaganda that that they will be sharing in the very near future. The technology has definitely advanced. There's commercial technology called mixed reality, augmented reality, and spatial reality, whereas you can differentiate a whale jumping out of the floor, right? There's technology that's that advanced right now that's for use in commercialized business. So you can imagine with the quote unquote military and, you know, certain people in the high science sector, what they have their hands on. So you're going to see Project Bluebeam reenacted. Of course, you're going to see things that you may swear is real. However, you have to be very, very mindful of the propaganda that they're going to be pushing out and things of that nature. Very mindful. Okay. But for those who have closed minds, and for those who put caps on their imagination, and for those who have filters over their visions and whatnot, because of religion and because of the programming of society and things of that nature, at least with the admittance that there is a higher life form out there, it removes some of the phlegm, it removes some of the cap, it removes some of the blockages to allow you to now have an experience that you don't deem in your mind that you can't have. So subconsciously, you're going to allow yourself to say, well, if they said that, then that means that I'm opening up myself to have an extraterrestrial experience, or I'm open to having an experience where the sky might open. I'm open to having an experience where I may see more than just a shooting star. I'm open to the experience to whereas I may have more than 10% of my vision and I'll see all of these things just around me like on a regular day.
And
So
and that's what it's supposed to be like, because again, the carbonated body itself has the capacity to crystallize gas into something that's physical, right? So you understand that, and you understand then that we've been indoctrinated by a certain language. Our reality and the way that we perceive life is based again on the people who only can see 10% of the spectrum. So with us being able to crystallize and collapse the wave into a particle, you know, with our minds and how grand it is, we're supposed to be seeing ships flying everywhere. We're supposed to be manipulating the sun. We're supposed to be, you know, seeing reality for what it really represents. Because again, if the mind had the capacity to really understand what life really looked like outside of the visible light spectrum, then that brain the capacity to tap into different circuits to be able to allow your eyes, which represent the outer representation of the nervous system, to gauge a larger portion of light. So because again we've been indoctrinated and the mind can't conceptualize what, you know, 100 ships going down, you know, the sky look like, or you know what it looks like when our ancestors are looking at us face to face. To be quite honest, if we were to see what our ancestors actually look like, you know, we will fuck around in short circuit, because the amount of power and energy that they possess in their appearance would be too much for
way too much,
efficient mind to be able to fathom. So, you know, that's why, you know, again, I'm coming with a different type of information, you know, that is allowing the mind to open up. And the nomenclature, the lexicon, it might be unfamiliar to a lot of people. Sometimes it might be a little confusing, but at the same time, like I said, I want to be able to push the needle forward and allow the brain and the mind to literally develop a larger neural network. So it gives us the capacity to then tap into a larger spectrum of light. So that way we can see reality for what it really represents. You know,
facts. Definitely. And kudos for that. You know, man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, you know, that's what we're going to be, you know, speaking about with, you know, prophetic remedies and celestial divinity. And, you know, I'm always juxtaposing Kemet, whether it's Kemet, whether it's the Dogons, whether it's the Olmecs, you know, I'm always juxtaposing their sciences, and then I'm running it with anatomy. Then I take anatomy, I run it with the cosmos, then I draw back to history, then I run it back to the body, then I draw back to the cosmos. Because when you create 60, again,
circuit,
it allows not only the information to be you know, attractive per se, but also too, it allows you to internalize it better because it's exciting, right? So, you know, that's why I've always, again, demonstrated our ancestors' intellectual property in real time, by way of the colors and the numbers, because I'm showing you that literally we can manipulate time and space instantaneously. So
Right.
you follow me, of course, you know, I'm running that color purple, and there's another color that I'm getting ready to give up here shortly. And a lot of people look at these colors like I'm just kind of, you know, having fun with colors and showing patterns, but
Like
it's
you winging it. Yeah, like you just
right,
winging it. You know what?
right,
I'm gonna say yellow. And anybody wearing yellow, that's what it is.
yeah, no, but it's the
No,
sign.
fam.
And I'm doing all the hard work behind the scenes with the mathematics and everything like that. I put out the color, and you know, I'm gauging, you know, the cosmos, to be quite honest with you. And I'm not even getting too technical into how I'm doing it per se, but that's again what the classes are about. I'm introducing you to the science and sciences that I'm involved with.
Okay,
You know,
so
yeah, go ahead.
you teach an application, you mean you're gonna assist others on how to basically tap into that magic that you out here wielding.
Yeah, absolutely. Because every color, but at
That's crazy.
but at the same time, every color has a cosmic narrative that runs underneath it. So if you're looking at it at face value, you see just a bunch of people wearing purple, you're not going to get it. But if you follow me strategically and really try to calculate, like, why am I putting up this post? Okay, how does that run concurrent with that? Naturally, being a decoder that we are, you'll be able to see the actual script that's playing out in real time. So,
Right.
you know, the next color that I'm getting ready to announce runs synonymous with the sun. It runs synonymous with segment. It runs synonymous with, a couple of different things. But yeah, you know, like I said, it's a science to it. And, you know, that's what you get in the class. You get basically what I'm tapping into and what I'm aware of and what I know to allow me to demonstrate these frequencies that I put out, you know, on a monthly basis. So it's a cosmic narrative. And again, it allows people to gauge what the ancient mythology is, what the prophecy is. And if they can see it through colors, and not only see it through colors, but internalize and utilize the colors in their personal experience, supernatural doors will open up for you, because naturally you're tethering to the cosmic script. And it's that simple. You know?
Damn. Okay.
That simple.
That's simple, huh?
And
Yeah.
yeah, it's real.
Y'all hear that? Yeah. I mean, I just want everybody that's listening and whatnot to really pay attention. Take it from me, a student who was in class when, you know, sitting at the feet of a Dr. Phil Valentine, when he was giving up certain gems that he doesn't give up anymore because he already gave it up. A student such as myself that was sitting in class when Bobby was teaching in real time, a student that sat at the feet in class when Dr. Delbert was teaching in real time. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. There were times that I was having conversations with other people while they were having these conversations. There was times when they was dropping big gemstones and big jewels and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, I'll just catch the replay and whatnot. Right. One of the things that I want to really reiterate is that timing is of everything. Timing is of the essence, especially on channels such as this. This channel and this information that we deliver to y'all is really about perfect timing. Case in point, when we were talking in 2013 and 14 and 15 about Bitcoin, if you would have bought it back then, you would have thanked us for being on perfect timing and whatnot, because you would have bought it at a premium. And then when it went through the roof, you would have been like, thank you, good brothers, because y'all were on time. Today, when we bring in brothers such as ALKEBULAN44 to the table and whatnot, the information that he's speaking of is about perfect timing. It's on time. It's not old information. It's the information don't have an age to it, right? But the deliverance of the information has a specific time resonance to it. So the times that we're in, the alignments that we find ourselves in, the quote unquote society, the way society, it will not be like this a year from now. It definitely won't be like this 5 years from now. You are in a perfect time. I promise you. You are in a time, you're in a day and time where you think shit is hard or you think things have gotten difficult. You haven't seen anything yet. Okay. You have the opportunity right now to either design something, to develop something, to create something, to be part of something that's being created before these windows close. And then you're going to ask yourself, what the fuck was I doing? You was putting off the time. The information was there. The teachers were there, right? They were willing to teach you at this level and at this point, but who's to say a year from now, who's to say 5 years, who's to say a year from now we'll even be able to have our good brother ALKEBULAN his time, because time is of value. Who's to say that this brother doesn't get picked up by $1 billion corporation or put on a project where he's given $1 billion or multi-million-dollar research and development, and he can't come to YouTube? You know what I'm saying? And we will respect that. We'll be like, I get it, I understand. So while the geniuses are amongst us and the timing is right and the price is right, take full advantage, yo. You know what I mean? Take full advantage of what's being delivered and whatnot. These classes that we've been doing, we're on class number 3. This is a series. This shit is historical already, because if you took the due diligence and went back and studied what the brother was talking about and then juxtaposed that on news events like solar flares, like the sun waking up, like he was already predicting, right? Like the culture taking a whole shift and whatnot, to whereas it's changing before your very eyes. Things are dying and things are being birthed and whatnot. So I give thanks to everybody that's on the front lines and teaching, because if it were not for us, then how would you be able to interpret being in the multiverse of madness? How could you interpret the gifts that you are being received? How could you interpret the campaigns that these people are out here, collectively and cooperatively launching against you? How could you defend yourself? You would be like a chicken with his head on swivel. You would be Chicken Little. You would think the sky is falling. Okay. And when you're in fear and releasing cortisol, you can't really think that straight. You can't necessarily plan for the future. It's hard for you to even be a team player, because you wild nervous and whatnot. You're in fear to the point where you will self-sabotage, or you'll wait for the sabotage to happen so you don't have to. So your fear can have validity, because you bet the house on your fear, and it was a false expectation appearing real. So what we come here to let you know, and we try our best to be consistent and whatnot, is that nothing is happening outside of your mind. There's nothing going wrong, my niggas. You know what I'm saying? Who you been listening to? You know what I'm talking about? There's no tragedy. There's no calamity. There's no end of anything. You know what I'm talking about? Even to the point that if you decide that you're going to tap out, chances are you might tap back in right away. None of that shit is real. People been getting on YouTube and been giving you all of these gloom and doom stories, and none of that shit ever panned out. We still here. Skin is still popping. Melanin still glowing. We still learning. You feel me? We still shedding old skin. We're still attracting what it is that we want and need. So what the fuck is going on wrong? Like, what's people's complaints about life and everything around you? You're reacting to the external. You're reacting to the stimuli. If you see a building fall, you take it personal. If you see somebody get hurt and whatnot, you act like you got hurt. You're just internalizing and things that are going on externally, because somebody lied to you and told you that the we are all together and it's us, and it never was that.
That's a fact.
No,
that's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact, and that's the game that's being played in reference to fear, because they understand that fear, of course, like you said, produces cortisol in the body. That overstimulates the adrenal glands, even with all the GMO weed that we smoking. That overstimulates the adrenal glands. So in essence, when you have adrenal glands that's overstimulated, then you don't have that fight or flight anymore. So you lack the capacity to even be aggressive. Like, you don't even want to be assertive anymore. You don't even want to go and fight for your dreams anymore.
Right.
You don't even want to go and fight for your woman anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, in essence, fear is bigger than just scaring you half to death. There's studying anatomy, and they're understanding how these triggers are stimulating through, epigenetic transgenerational inheritance, past experiences that we've, succumbed to, so when you can put a European on TV in front of us and see him, executing, our people in real time, that's going to create a fear, but that's also going to desensitize us to where, again, when events happen like that in succession, we don't even respond to it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
It's
Let me.
a yeah, no, it's a big play on fear. And you know, that's why when I come in, I speak about doing some of the basic shit. Like, all again, we have to do one thing is sun gaze. And I've always explained, you know, scientifically what that means, because we have three major glands in the brain. We got the pituitary, the pineal, and the thalamus, right?
Mm,
So in essence, when you sun gaze, you're stimulating the thalamus in the brain, the thalamus reticular nuclei in the brain, and
right.
you have thalamus pacemaker cells that are actually aligned on the part of the brain where the thalamus sits. So in essence, when you're getting that sunlight that's stimulating that part of the brain, you're releasing dopamine. And
Right.
dopamine is one of the major healing factors when it comes to depression, when it comes to, you know, self-esteem issues, when it comes to a lack of confidence, when it comes to, you know, all of these traits, you know, that we succumb to when we see, again, people like, you know, what's his face, going into a grocery store and executing our people. It's just about, again, spending time with ourselves, spending time in nature, allowing us to, you know, cut off the TV and cut off the cell phone, and, you know, just tap in,
Right.
and you know, again, allowing the body to be photoreceptive, allowing the body to adhere to a higher level of information, so that way,
Right.
event like this does take place, you know, we're equipped with enough information to know how to not only react, intelligently, you know, but also begin to plan on how we can come together as a people, you know, and demonstrate our magic. You know what I'm saying? So
All day, all day. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of the Buffalo shooting incident, I just wanted to bring to the forefront and to the attention of everybody that's in the audience and whatnot. Did you read the article about one of the quote unquote victims was working on hydrogen cars?
To this day. To this
Did we
day.
not have a guest on this show, Abiku Bey, who just came on What's the
and
Science podcast with you and Blue Pill, and what was he talking about?
powering cars with water.
Powering cars with water. So one of the victims, there was a civil rights, one of the elders was a civil rights icon, right? And then another victim in the Buffalo supermarket shooting was a melanated man who was making cars that run off of hydrogen. So what that says is, right, it was the security guard and he created the water powered engine, right? So once again, what we're seeing, the same way that what happened in Charleston, South Carolina, when Dylan Roof went in there, he just haphazardly went and killed a senator, Senator Pickney. He just haphazardly went into Bible study class, and there was a whole senator sitting there. This was not an ex-senator. This was a senator who Hillary Clinton replaced him in the Senate seat and whatnot. He got murdered in South Carolina by a race soldier. So this is what they're showing us in the world of scenarios and ratios. If you were to shoot in a crowd of melanated people, you're either gonna hit a senator, a civil rights icon, or a fucking inventor. That's how great we are.
That's wild.
To this day.
There is no random black people.
That's crazy. Yeah.
There's no random us. We're not random. If you shoot into a crowd of us, you might hit a civil rights icon and kill him. You might hit a whole senator, or you might hit a fucking inventor who could have changed the course of history with a hydrogen car. Come on, man.
Yeah, man.
And we're like, and like it goes back to what we talk about. We're messianic people all the way around the border. We are a messianic people. So when you call us messianic, what that means is you can't just base our appearance off of face value as to our quote unquote contribution to our nation, either 20 years from now, 50 or 60 years from now. It doesn't have to be when you're 20 and 30. You're living through your Malcolm Little stages. You might be Detroit Red at that point. But what would have happened if somebody decided to push Detroit Red's conch back and we never got to experience the Malcolm X, and we had that void, and we felt that there was something missing. We just couldn't wrap our minds and our hands around it. That is what's happening on a large scale when they spray in the crowd in Chicago, in St. Louis, in Atlanta, in LA and whatnot, when they're running down and they're shooting people in the head and whatnot, and you don't know who you're killing, you just running around knocking people off. But Black society, our people feel a humongous loss in a void. We don't know why. We just know something is missing. We just know somebody great got killed today. The messianic force is being sucked out, and we don't know how it's happening, why it's happening, and who exactly is happening to. Because everybody's not going to get a documentary made about them and whatnot. But please believe and know there's something in your subtle body and whatnot that's feeling the fact that a lot of potential is being sucked out of our communities and our networks and whatnot. And there's nothing that we could do about it except just stand upright and keep pushing and things of that nature. But I can feel it. I can feel it. Real talk. I can feel it. And the simple fact that the people in the Buffalo massacre, there's no pray for Buffalo. There's no raise your flags half staff. There's nobody melanated speaking out. None of the celebrities said anything. They carried on. They followed Will Smith, Smack, and a whole bunch of other distractions longer than they gave this thing any type of energy. The only thing that they were acting was that they wanted to hug somebody and they wanted to pray and forgive. That's the only thing that was coming out of the pie holes of these cowards and whatnot. So I'm here to let you know, family, all we have is us. And I'm going to be standing on that. I'm going to try my best not to become, a thorn in your side and whatnot out there. But I'm standing on some real shit moving forward. I'm not going to allow, because everything this constant is change. We need to change. Niggas need to change clothes. We need to switch up the way that we're moving and whatnot. We need to switch up the way that we carrying each other. We need to switch up the value that we place on each other at the end of the day. Because there's people out here that's doing some monumental shit, some priceless things and whatnot, and they're not being supported. They're not being appreciated. And the people are acting like niggas is average and they're not rare and whatnot. That's not what's up. That's not what's up. And the lames and whatnot, and the charlatans, and all of the people that are out here doing the people dirty, they're having their way with the people. Like I said on the podcast before, it's a lot of thottish behaviors in these communities, because it's like discernment. You would expect a pretty girl to have discernment and not let everybody knock her down, right? Because she loses value when she doesn't exercise discernment, because everybody wants you. You understand? You just don't want, you should not want everybody that wants you.
Right.
So in this community, everybody wants you. You attract, I don't give a fuck who you are. Everybody wants you. Niggas is cat calling you from every single corner when you step up in this bitch. You supposed to have discernment now. Y'all are out here getting crowd surfed. Niggas is passing you around. There's a lot of thottery in this community. And, it's a lot of hit and runs. Yo, let me pull over here. Let me get a reading. Let me do your reading. Let me read your palm. Let me read your toenails. You know what I'm saying? Pull over here. Let me read your tongue. Pull over here. Let me do your chart. It's mad thought. It's a lot of wham bam. Thank you, ma'ams. And you pull up to these practitioners, and they doing what? They doing you dirty, and they just leaving you in the car or the side of the road, passing you around and not honoring your sacredness and whatnot. So for the ones that are honorable, for the ones that the teachers out there that still practice integrity, for the teachers who you can hear the love that they got in their hearts when they're teaching and whatnot. They're not just teaching. They're not just treating the people like they could be smacked around and whatnot. Right. I got respect for y'all. You know what I mean? And I'll stand with anybody who stands on those truths and whatnot. But the shit is ugly out here. Real talk. It's too ugly, man. It's too ugly to ignore it and whatnot. And good people get punished for the inadequacy of the dirty cup. The clean cup is suffering.
The clean cup is suffering.
Cup is suffering.
It's a lot of big steppers, and when I say big steppers, it's a lot of niggas tiptoeing, around conversations. It's a lot of niggas tiptoeing around people who deserve to be honored and who deserve to be valued. You know, that's something that we're lacking. You know, we don't value ourselves. Thus, whatever we put our intention in is going to lack a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's your work, whether it's, you know, if you do card readings, whether it's your teaching. And, you know, that's what we got to start honing in on. That's a, you know, a prominent example what happened to the brother, you know, who was designing the prototype, that, you know, so much of us lead this earth who are inventors. You know, we all have skill sets and gifts that we are supposed to deliver to the world. But a lot of us, you know, we sit around and just watch everybody else, you know, succeed. And we then begin to live vicariously through everybody else, you know.
Right.
So our value today only stems from what we got on. You know, we feel like we got to wear the finest clothes and things of that nature because we lack a self of value with ourselves. So if we don't have something that's expensive on, then all of a sudden now it's like, well, shit, like what is, you know, what is the definition of who I am now? Like what, you know,
Right.
hey, you know, it lays in your intellectual property, it lays in your history, it lays in, you know, your children, it lays in your family dynamic. And when we again stop gauging our reality based on everybody else's experiences, then we can tap into our own natural innate gifts and really be able to deliver something that can be profound and change the world overnight. So, you know, even with myself delivering certain information that people may not be familiar with, I know that I'm doing a service because I'm introducing a type of information again that can be utilized in real time. And I'm making it very plain and very simple. You know, a lot of people again may gripe at it. A lot of people may look at it as something that's just a form of entertainment. A lot of people may not believe in it, but you know, I got a, you know, a direct communication with the source because I'm, you know, tapped in and I see my level of value. So, you know, I don't question any of that. And my level of confidence is that much because again, not only do I understand where we come from, but I understand where we're going. You know what I'm
Let me
saying?
share some with you, my good brother. Let me
Yeah.
share some with you just to add on to what you're saying. When I was watching Phil Valentine in the early days, there was no reference point to what Phil was talking about. I couldn't Google what the fuck Phil was talking about. I couldn't go back and look at another master teacher to figure out what the fuck Phil was talking about. When Delbert came and said that there were two sons, when Delbert came and said a whole bunch of shit, and nobody had a reference point. We just had to basically not just believe in him. We had to have faith in the information. And when all of these revelations came true from all of these master teachers throughout time, you understand? We was like, God damn it. Thank God we took advantage of the information when they gave it to us right then. We did not. That wasn't the stone that the builders rejected. We didn't reject that. We internalized the information and we dug deeper. We read books that they told us to read. We went to the library and stole books that we couldn't get out of there. You feel me? We bust our asses. There was no, they didn't have Google. A lot of the tools that are available now for people to shortcut. We had to read the bibliographies of books, bro. Like we were really 10 toes down and getting what we wanted. We were really 10 toes down. And that shit paid for us because when the truth was revealed, it leveled us up spiritually on levels internally, intellectually, and not in an arrogant way. It just leveled us to the gnosis. We went from thinking to knowers.
To this day,
right? Because
to this day,
we stood on the information. We battled the information in the streets. We niggas was weaponizing their information against ours in some situations. And we battled with that information. So when that information came to pass, it was like we absorbed it as a power. It was a power up. You know what I'm talking about? So there's somebody out there that's listening to you right now. You're doing to them what Phil Valentine did to my brain. You're doing to them what Bobby Hemmett did for me when I first heard him. You're doing for them what C. Freeman L. was doing to early Moors when they were hearing him drop divine sciences that they did not even have access to because the shit was almost hidden behind fraternal orders, like in secret societies.
Right,
Clock of destiny, the knowledge of the horoscopes, all of these things. This was high science when it was first revealed. Right now, of course, 20, 30 years later, people, it's like reading a book that's profound. 20 to 30 years later, you're gonna act like, oh, I've been known that. No, you didn't. You couldn't even get past the introduction.
To this day.
Stop playing. Stop. Humble yourself. Humble yourself. You couldn't even get past the intro, my nigga. You had to pick that shit up 18 times. You smoked 8 pounds worth of weed in order to get through that book, bruh. So humble yourself. Know your humble beginnings. And that's how it was. We had to humble ourselves. We were humble students. So I have an adoration and a respect for all of the humble students that are out there who are really there with your cup, waiting for it to get filled up and whatnot. And when your cup is filled, you pour it into others' cups. Each one teach one. That's how we spread mastery. But I'm gonna be doing something. I'm gonna do a quick intro in the beginning of the class. When we do the class, I'm gonna be talking about the virus of vicariousness. Okay. The virus of vicariousness, living vicariously through people, how that's a virus. And I'm going to break down the virus of vicariousness and, just touch on some things that I've been noticing and bring some receipts to the table. But please continue.
Yeah, no, you hit it on the head. That's a fact. Like you said, with me personally, as well, being a humble student, allows your heart to be open and be receptive to a lot of the information. To this day, I still study as if, we didn't have the internet or we don't have the internet. So, I'm in the libraries, I'm opening the books, I'm ordering books, I try to spend less time on the phone getting information and more time in the books, because that's where you're going to find the value at, so with me, I study the same way, just like, Red and Blue were sitting at the feet of Phil and Bobby way back when. I'm still doing the same thing. I keep the essence of it. And that's something that I pride myself with. But like Red said, it's a thing where we are now beginning to, live more vicariously through other people's experiences. And we get comfortable with doing that. We find a sense of comfort. The biggest vicarious experience that you can have is, watching a football or basketball game. Me personally, I was into football and basketball back in the day, right?
Oh,
but when I started to get a little more conscious and aware, I'm like, why the fuck am I sitting here wasting my time watching people who I don't even personally know? Like, what type of value are they offering to me by me sitting? I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my value.
Right.
When people don't have a lot going on, they see joy in other people's experiences. And this, again, social media is so detrimental because, we tend to devalue ourselves just to value other people. And, when those people get to the places where we want to go, that only, devalues us even more in our mind. So, yeah, man, it's,
Brother Joshua, hit my email. The one, whoever wrote, Brother Joshua that just wrote this. I'm going to send you my Discord link because, this is a conversation that not only we're having in a Netaverse Discord, but this is some of the work that we're actually doing. So feel free to hit me up, send your information to Red Pillar 75 at Proton. I'll send you a private link to come into the Discord. You'll be a part of some of the conversations that we're having as a group and whatnot. Shout out to everybody that's on the Discord. I appreciate every single one of y'all. KTL University is the website to get the link for our class that is on Saturday, this Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. If you can't make it, we are recording the quote unquote lecture. This is the lecture that I'm speaking of, Prophetic Remedies and Celestial Divinity. ALKEBULAN44 is going to be our guest teacher. I will be your host of that rising and whatnot, 11 a.m. The best way to receive a lot of this information is in the a.m. when we're waking up fresh, drinking some sea moss tea and whatnot, starting our day, some good breakfast, some fruits and whatnot, letting, grounding and sun gazing before class, maybe even fasting the night before or 2 nights before, getting your mind and your body and everything in alignment so you can receive these downloads. I promise you, it is life-changing. It shifts not just the mental paradigm, but by shifting the mental paradigm, you subsequently begin to shift the physical plane and whatnot. And you'll be surprised how many beautiful experiences you have that strong in, starting from the minute that lecture is over to when you step outside or whatever you wind up doing, going into the next day. You still feel that energy and people respond to the energy. And then especially when you pay attention to the news cycle and you begin to see the news or the great divine speaking through signs, aka you start to see society adhere to the information that's being presented in real time. So on Saturday, May 28th at 11 a.m., the link is in the description right here on the right here. When you click below the red icon, the link is right there. You could click on that, or you could go to KTL University and whatnot. And as an extra bonus, we have a bundle pack where we'll be throwing in our first class, the African Science of Free Energy, Soulmatic, and the Illest to Bring the Static. That was about 4 hours.
To this day.
That's going to be
to this day
an added bonus for your ticket purchase. You will receive that. So you'll have yourself a chock full of information to go ahead and do your research and to dive in and get busy with. All right. And thank you everybody for sending cash apps. Tiarsha, Kajara, Laquan, Abdullah, Benjamin, and Nova. I appreciate everybody sending the cash app. I'll give more shout outs as they come through and whatnot. But yes, let us continue and let us continue building, good brother.
Yeah, one thing I want to hit on too is, individuals who, are looking to come into the community and be teachers, come as yourself, right? Again, you don't have to, adhere to any look. You don't have to adhere to any form of demonstration when it comes to your aesthetics. Like, come as the person you were prior to teaching. That again comes with a level of understanding your value prior to you being in the public eye. And
Right.
Once you can acquiesce to who you originally were, you gain a level of self-confidence because you're saying to yourself, nah, like, I'm good enough for who I am and what I represent, even if I am in the public eye. Like I said on the last build, I was this way prior to even becoming a teacher. I never changed. And what I've witnessed personally by doing that is it allowed me to kind of reflect back before I became a teacher and say, well, damn, like, this is who I always was. And I come into the community being the same person. Like, it allows me to maximize, not only my potential, but my level of confidence. So I just wanted to hit on that, because people believe they gotta, when they're in the public eye, they gotta be somebody or take somebody that everybody else accepts. But it's like, no,
Right.
as you are, because maybe there's 100,000 people looking at you now wanting to imitate how you dress, how you look, the way that you wear, your hats, the way you wear your sweaters, whatever. Like, so I want to just say that, because then you begin to carve your own space within the community. And then also too, you begin to adhere to different gifts that naturally innate by you following your own trajectory. So when you follow trajectory, naturally you're following your own path. And when you follow your own path, you begin to fall into, customs that again are innately already encoded within you. And now they're being stimulated and brought to the conscious mind. But when you follow,
it's powerful.
You fall short of who you are and you lose sight. And then you begin to regurgitate information. You begin to try to memorize what other teachers are saying just to say it and sound deep. And then you begin to personality worship. And then you begin to grow attachment to other different teachers. And,
the virus of vicariousness. Like, you don't have a foundation when you are copying the quote unquote aesthetics of others and whatnot. And I totally agree with everything that you said, good brother. Like, if Come As You Are was a person, that would be me and my brother. Like, we were very adamant about remaining true to ourselves and just not being intimidated by the dress code or not being or the perceived dress code, mud cloth, dashikis, you feel me? You know, sandals with the open toes and whatnot. You know, we was just like, nah, we finna just keep this shit on that we got on. We gonna stay fly. You know what I mean? We gonna keep that Ralph on while we go see Bobby. Like we, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
we gonna be ourselves. We're not gonna change the inflection of our voices either. And we're not gonna say we're not gonna try to sound too intelligent and academic around our elders and whatnot. You know, we might slip a slang in there here and there, but we're not gonna apologize for it because people be coming up to me and they be like, "Yo, Red, what's good, my brother? Oh shit. Oh, pardon me, I didn't mean to say shit."
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'll be like, if you heard yourself,
Yeah,
you would be embarrassed that you even said that to me because who
yeah.
the fuck am I? Like, nigga, are you serious? Like,
To this day.
who the fuck is who you?
To this day.
Nigga, this ain't Coming to America. I'm not Hakeem at the fucking. Remember when homie seen him at going to the bathroom? Like,
Yeah.
relax, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think I'm your dad, bro? Like, oh no, you an elder? No, I'm not. Niggas be like, who's elder? Niggas be like, I'm just saying you one of the elders. Whose elder am I? I'm not even my son's elder. Like, what are you talking about? I'm your elder, nigga. I don't elder, nigga. I'm not Papa Smurf. Speak your mind, fam, because that I begin to look at you sideways that you putting on. Now you fronting. Now you trying to be something that you not, nigga. You say shit and piss and all of it. You drop F-bombs. Don't make my presence stop you from being authentically you. How can we diagnose one another if we can't be authentic around one another? You got a mask on, like Kendrick said, take off the foo-foo. You N95. You wearing mask on mask on mask, my nigga. You saw the movie Mask? Rocky Hudson. You Rocky Hudson. Mask, my nigga. That was back in the day with Cher. And Mask. Some homie had the deformities.
I thought you was talking about what's his face?
Jim Carrey. Nah, that's for the niggas born after the 80s. The real Mask is the shit that came on, and they used to come on HBO. I used to cry because it was a tearjerker and whatnot. He had a long face mask. That was my shit. Oh, but anyway.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, Cher was in it, and his name was Sam Houston was in it, and the guy's name was Rocky Dennis, I believe, the main character.
You're not talking about Elephant Face, Elephant Man?
It's not Elephant Man, but he had the Elephant Man disorder.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's word. Okay. Yeah.
That's a classic.
Okay, yeah. He said it's a tearjerker. No.
And it was a tearjerker, big tearjerker.
Yeah,
Rocky Dennis. Remember Rocky Dennis? Rocky Dennis was trying to get a shorty and all of that. That shit was a big tearjerker. Because, we was little. Like, you'll look at it now and be like, nigga, what? But that's how you understand how deep the programming was.
Right.
And that's how you be understanding. When you see that, then look at the impressionable minds of a 3, 4, 5, and 6-year-old of today. Imagine imagine what type of movie, what these movies are doing to them now. We were being affected by shit that when we look back on it now, we like, how did that affect me? Like, who shot JR? You know what I mean? You be like, who the fuck cares? Like, that shit had people in a tizzy back in the days.
No, I get it. Because I was traumatized by certain movies. My aunt had me watch Dead Presidents. I can't remember what age I was, but when they stuck that nigga's head in the ceiling fan, I was traumatized.
Oh, man.
I was traumatized.
Imagine a 3-year-old watching State Property and they was beating that nigga with a bat.
To this day.
When they was putting the homie in the garbage can.
That hurts my soul.
That shit hurts. All of my cells start dying when I watch that. I could just feel mass cell die off. You know what I mean? Shit just starts eroding. I'm like, what is he doing? That's how. Look at his kid. Look at his condition. Not to take anything away, but look at the condition that Beanie is in. You don't think that has something to do with that heavy demonic pull? There was
Man,
and no balance. Look, Styles P had to become vegan. Him and Jada had to emergency get into smoothies because they was out there making mad movies and whatnot. And the energy, the pull. I'm especially Styles P. He had a heavy. His shit was heavy like lead. The negativity, it was on DMX levels. Look, DMX didn't start drinking smoothies, so they had to balance that.
Balance that, yeah. You know, there's a couple of people, some insiders or whatever, you know, actors or whatever that I've spoken to, you know, and they, you know, they always say it's a thin line between acting and the real life, because when you play out these characters, you know, like you said, you're taking
Like
on
a
a
method, yeah, like a method actor. You
right. So
dive into the persona.
right. So when you come from in front of those cameras, best believe that everything that you just acted, you know, has set up a karmic cycle in your personal life. So, you know, a lot of them have to go through, you know, psychological therapy and all of these things. But yeah, you know, when you play movies like State Property and you have to embody these roles and imbue that energy and demonstrate that in public, in the public eye. And then now
Right,
everybody else, when they see you in public, that's how they identify you as.
right. Not good.
You can never escape that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, that's, you know, I
Not
didn't
good at all.
yeah, I didn't experience some trauma when it comes to some movies at a young age. But like you
Yeah,
said, just imagine the kids and what they're looking at today. Like I can't even fathom.
like if they watch The Conjuring, you know, Annabellas and all of that, bruh, don't put your children in front of the. Do not do it to yourself. I remember watching Jason when he hit the nigga in the nose bone with the machete. Then there was another scene where he speared a couple of on the bed and whatnot. That
Oh,
shit stayed with me forever.
oh, I
That
know
stayed with me forever, bruh.
that remind me of that one movie. I don't know if you've seen the Zodiac Killer.
No,
Um,
I
you
don't
haven't seen,
think I did.
okay, but it's a
Yeah,
part where he in broad daylight stabbing up two couples in a park, and there's no music or nothing. The nigga just stabbing them, and it's like, what's happening right now? Like, you know how they bring in
the
the
Son
music,
of Sam. That's the
huh?
Son of Sam. Was that the Son of Sam?
Nah, the Zodiac Killer. Is that the same thing?
Um, it could be.
I don't know. It's a movie called The Zodiac Killer, but I didn't. Yeah, I seen that, and that shit was like, that was eerie to me. Like it was just kind of weird. But yeah, you know, like you said, like these movies, you know, and that's one thing too. You know, we got to start trying to ease up on some of the movies that we're watching, even you know, because we're not well mentally with everything that's taking place. So don't.
Right. So they niggas want to get extra shock and awed. Yo,
Yeah,
I'm so desensitized. I need to see, you know, I mean, CSI I watched CSI one day. I walked into a house and they had somebody open, they had a cadaver with the open chest. On CSI, on regular TV, there was a dead body and the chest was wide. You know how they got to open up the rib cage?
yeah,
Right
yeah,
on TV. So they got our people so desensitized. Niggas that used to smoke Reggie and watch Faces of Death, or they used to smoke Arizona weed, watching the whole Nightmare from Elm Street 1 to 7. So now they need extra gore. They need extra horror to shock and awe them. And I'm like, fam, what the fuck do you think you're doing to your psyche? What do you
yeah.
think you're doing to your auric field?
Like you said, it's that shock value. You know, when I was younger, I remember like 8, 9 had a website called like Raw or something like that, where you could go and just see some of the illest,
Ella
like,
shit, yeah. But
yeah,
now it's on World Star.
huh?
Now shit that was on Raw is on World Star.
Yeah, World Star. Yeah, yeah,
They had there was another one where you could see bodies and shit. Because
yeah.
I had a girlfriend back in the days, and her father was a detective. And that was the first time I saw what is known as the body book, right?
Mm,
So right, so the detectives, especially those that are on homicide, there was a website called Rotten. There you go. Rotten had all of the bodies.
I am right.
So there was a book. There's a book the detectives have in their houses where they take pictures of all of the crime scenes, and the book is in the crib. So she used to tell me that the father would show that to the boyfriends when they would come over and be like, "Yeah, make sure that you know what I mean? Make sure you take care of my daughter and bring her back on time." I was like, yeah, I won't be coming back here. This
Yeah,
shit. I'm talking about bruh. It was some shit that I could not unsee in that book.
And see, it's crazy because even though you don't want to see it, we see it. I think that's my Sagittarius
I
though.
was like, show that shit to me.
Yeah,
I didn't. There was something in me that was like, don't see it, don't look. And I
yeah,
was like, oh, let me see that.
let me see
What the
that.
fuck?
Yeah, because on that
Because
website,
she was, because it wasn't like I was gonna turn it down, and she was in the book like it was a comic book. It wasn't like I wasn't gonna be like, nah, I'm scared. I don't want to. You know me. I was like, let me see that. This is nothing. What is
yeah, yeah.
this?
Nah, the website.
Do
Yeah,
this every day, man. We do this every day. I was low key traumatized.
no, for real though. Yeah, so yeah, with that being said, for the family, again, let's try to, first of all, disengage ourselves from some of the trauma that we're seeing on TV because like Red said at the beginning of the bill, there's nothing bad happening. There's no trauma. Everything is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine how many things right now simultaneously are happening that are life-changing, that are beautiful? But see, we
Right.
tend to get engaged in social media, in the news, and they're focusing on one scope of reality when in essence
One
it's
scope.
so much happening right now that's amazing, that's beautiful, that's rewarding, that's everything. You know what I'm saying? So once we can hone in on that, just understand, let's try to add on to that piece within our own personal experience.
Definitely, definitely. So we are going to be winding it down tonight. We definitely was here to pull up, let the family know what they have to look forward to on the 28th. Tap in with the network, tap in with the fam. The only thing that's going on in the news is the north, east, west, south. It's the air that's moving. You are the news. You know what I mean? Every day that you wake up, you make new news. You're the biggest breaking news on the planet right now. Everything is about you.
Facts.
Everything is about you and the music that you make when you speak. Everything is about you and the movies that you make when you walk and move. Everything is about you. You know what I mean? You the champion. You won the chip, my nigga. Like it's about you. Let's start having that mentality
Mm-hmm.
rather than headline chasing and shock and awe. I'm not an ambulance chaser, so I don't look for the tragedies that are going on and whatnot to try to reiterate a point that is not even real. You know what I mean? It's subject to change because everything is subject to change. What I'm here to let you know, though, what won't change is the fact that you are here on a mission, and the mission and it won't change until you, you know what I'm saying? Nothing is going to change until you carry out your mission. You know what I mean? And if we're here together, that means that we're all on mission and we're all on purpose. There's nobody that's watching my channel that's not on purpose. People is you know what I mean? Like nobody just stumbles upon here and they're
Right.
looking for tips on how to install a fucking sewing, and they're on these channels every Monday and whatnot. If you're here for a reason. You're here for a season. You are allowed to come and go. You feel me? This is an open door university. We don't hold hostages. This ain't a motherfucking this ain't a cult, my niggas. Y'all don't have to kiss my toes or the bottom of my feet. I don't need no massages and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't need none of your birth certificates in order to say that y'all down and whatnot. So this is an open society. This is an online university. This is a place where gods and goddesses meet. This is a place for leveling up and whatnot, transformation and not imitation. You dig what I'm saying? So on Saturday, once again, we will be joining our good brother ALKEBULAN and the rest of our KT Alien students on Know the Ledge University, which is ktluniversity.com. As with everybody who showed up to classes before, we start promptly. We go for about 3 hours and whatnot. We take questions and answers. We take breaks, and we allow everybody who is taking notes and whatnot to present either their question, comments, and concerns at the end. And we have the replay available for everybody the next day forever. You can watch these videos forever and ever. Okay. So the website is ktluniversity.com. My Cash App for everybody who is supporting independent media, brothers such as myself, brothers such as ALKEBULAN, brothers such as Blue Pill, who come up here, Mama Pill, KT, the Arch Degree, everybody in my network, Brother Rich, everybody, King Simon, everybody that's out here putting out content, teaching the people, presenting solutions, presenting to you monumental scholars amongst us and whatnot, coming forward with dedication and standing on something. Everybody that I've mentioned, salute.
To this day.
Keep the good work
To
up.
this day.
Keep the good work up. And remember, we are supported by the people, y'all who are watching and receiving and whatnot. Y'all keep the support going. Love you. I appreciate y'all support. Even in advance. I appreciate you in advance. Y'all keep things going. You know what I mean? And that's what's up. ALKEBULAN, what do you want to leave them with, my good brother?
Just again, make sure that you tap into the class May 28th. It's $1 million worth of information. It's years of research compacted in 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? So you're getting a full course meal. And not only that, like I said, I encourage the family to come with your questions, and ask them. Don't be scared and hesitant to deliver something that you may want to know about. That's what it is. Again, just yeah, just gonna touch on that. We'll touch on that later. I do encourage the family though to tap in on Brother Rich's channel, because there's a monumental build that's taking place here in about 20 minutes. But yeah, family, 28th Saturday, we're really gonna take it there. Prophetic remedies and celestial divinity, and that's what it is.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, y'all. So with that being said, I want to say we will be back for Third Eye Thursdays. Tap in for Third Eye Thursdays. Make sure you subscribe to the page. Once again, hit the like buttons, hit the Cash App, hit the share button and whatnot. Leave a comment. Love and light to all of the family. We will see you on Third Eye Thursdays. Peace.